Bitch, are you jealous?
Oh shit, here we go again.
Bitch, are you jealous?
Oh shit, here we go again. Oh shit, here we go again.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man, I Make Mad Beats. Live from outer space, an unapologetic studio. We are here today with Type Beat, another episode where we discuss a lot of topics in the world of production, engineering, and music, or just being a creator. Behind me is my cast for today. I'll let them introduce themselves.
LJ1S.
Unique.
It's your boy Kid Maestro.
And Sheena.
For sure. And today, we got some interesting things to talk about. LJ, what we talking about, bro?
Ooh, before we get in that, yo, peep the angle right now, bro. We got the lens back. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see the colors and the richness. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Before we used to be kind of scrunched up. You know what I mean? But you know, we out here right now. Let's get it. All right, just want to acknowledge that. Let's get it. All right, what's the topic?
Splice. You fuck with it, you don't fuck with it. Like, if you do fuck with it, like, how long would you be fucking with it? Like, what do you think? Whoa, what?
So
yeah, what do you think of Splice in general? Just the platform of Splice, the idea of Splice, like.
yeah, there's a few things that can go into this. I mean, this is Type Beat, so most of the people watching is producers, you know what I mean, or people involved. But for those who don't know, Splice is a subscription service where you pay a certain amount a month, and you get access to depending on your tier subscription, you get access to a number of samples that you can download from this vast library of samples that creators have made. And in general, they're pretty high quality sounds, and it has become like something that is utilized by pretty much every producer. Yeah. It's become the new sound library for making beats. Okay, so that's what Splice is. But you know what I mean? There's a little bit of, I don't know. There's some things that come with that kind of revolutionary technology. Yeah. So specifically, do y'all ever feel shame around using Splice? Because it's a widely accessible thing, right? So it's like there is no using Splice or getting a sound from Splice doesn't make you special. You know what I mean? No. Is there a part of y'all where it's like, I got this from Splice? Or do you ever try to hide the fact that you got it from Splice in some sort of way?
No, I feel like if this was me a few years ago, I would have been like, yeah, I don't really, because there is as a producer, there is a like association with the type of music you make, with the samples you use. Like all of this is attached to your brand and stuff. And most producers, at least when I was growing up into this, it's like a golden rule as a producer. Like, you don't want your samples to sound like or be recognizable, so to speak, be easily accessible. So at one point I'll be like definitely on some like hiding shit. But I think now it's cool, like, because of the way I flip samples. Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. Like, I love Splice. I just was talking about it the other day, like having the option to. For me, like, okay, so example, I was getting ready to catch a flight. I didn't have time to like pull out the machine, create or whatever, but I'm a creative person, so I need something. I'm still hearing sounds, ideas or whatever. I got Splice, the app. I just pull it up. I'm listening to sounds, and I love just collecting sounds in general. I love the idea of like manipulating sounds and everything like that. So to have the option to pull up Splice on my phone and just collect sounds, so to speak, of what I will use or later on, or even if it's just something that can spark an idea, like, I don't know, I fucks with Splice, and I'm not ashamed to be like, yeah, I rock with Splice.
Okay, so you're not ashamed to rock with Splice. Are you ashamed if somebody recognizes that you use Splice from your music?
No, because I look at that the same way. I feel like that's more so on me, because I look at it no different if if I use a sample, you know, and I think it's like I've never heard anybody with this song, using this record or whatever, and then I come here and one of y'all, because y'all have the knowledge, I'll be like, oh, that's such and such album. This was made in 1972, whatever. Like, it's like whatever. For me, it's more so I look at it within myself like, I didn't do enough. If I'm on some like, I don't want niggas to recognize this, I didn't do enough to make sure it wasn't easily recognizable. Yeah. That's how I look at it. Especially, I think that just ties into, because I am an engineer as well, that's why I don't necessarily care about if you, I would tell you where I got the sample from. 9 times out of 10, because of my ear and who I am, you're not going to flip it the way I do. The textures, you're not going to add, like, there's so many things that layers to it versus just a drag and drop situation, you know. So I think for me, nah, I'm not bothered by it.
Man, what you think? What's your feelings on that?
Man, shout out to all my G's across the lands. That's my way of like getting time to come up with an answer.
First and foremost, I want to acknowledge.
You know,
Niggas across the pond.
it was a good day today. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Damn. Period.
The weather is all right. I know. Yeah, I rock with Splice. I think what I rock with the most from Splice though is like the organization of it. Like I have a thing about knowing that the things I can control, because there's so much that we can't control in this world. Yeah. But the things that I can control, that I'm the one controlling them. I think that's across the board with me. Meaning like, you know, when I first started making beats, I had to learn, like it was just about like finding amazing drum sounds, you know. But then at some point, like, oh, I remember. Let's keep it all the way live. We keep it all the way live.
Yeah.
Of course, that's all
Let's
we
go.
do.
We live stream.
Period.
That's it. You know?
We keep it all the way live. I wasn't going to, but you know, you heard what I just said.
Got inspired.
Streets.
Not the yeah.
Nah, you know what it was? It was the fact that like all of my favorite producers.
You are not going to want to miss this.
You're not gonna want to miss this. This is real.
That part.
All of my favorite producers, they all had signature sounds. Like I would hear them use drums that I heard other producers use, but when they used it, it sounded a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And that allowed them to be like almost like invincible. Like they just couldn't mess up because you realize like their beats are not competing with everybody else. Their beats is trying to sound like them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I admire that so much to where initially where it was about finding dope sounds, it became, okay, how do I make any sound my sound?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel it.
Because, and I'll talk about it. It was Illmind, Madlib, Jay Dilla. Like Jay Dilla and Madlib were like my like OGs. But then like my contemporary was Illmind.
Right.
Like I knew Illmind. We were friends. We used the same beat machine. Like, and so when he would use a sound and I would use a sound and mine would sound different from his, I'm like, man, how is he doing this? You know, how is he making it sound like this? You know, and you know, initially you're trying to figure out how he's making it sound like that. But what you really get to is like, he created his own sound. You know, so my first take on Splice was like, I don't want to be shuffling from the same pool that everybody else is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I want my sound to be uniquely my sound.
Yeah.
Like not kinda, not a little bit, or not even mostly. Like I want it to be like, honestly, and even for that, like the bar was like Flying Lotus.
I understand.
Bro.
Right? Like when I hear Flying Lotus and stuff, like that's Flying Lotus. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
like
you can't
you're
even.
never gonna hear or not, maybe I'm not gonna say never, but it would be rare for you to hear a common sample or something that you could find at the top of a list on Splice on a Flying Lotus album.
Yeah.
Like he's just somewhere else, and that makes it so that it's extremely hard to replicate Flying Lotus. And that was my initial take on it. I still feel like that a lot of ways. I'll say this too, but in some ways I'm very privileged. Like I have a whole studio with a whole bunch of live analog instruments and devices where I can go over there and play something right now, run it through a few crazy devices over here, and it sounds like
Right.
it
It's
sounds
the same.
amazing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
facts.
But if I was just to do it with a laptop or with a broke ass computer, which is how I started it, well then fuck yeah, I'm gonna be on Splice every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm at this point now where I think I am with the drums when I was first starting, where it's like, okay, I recognize that this is a bin that has everybody's hands in it, right? But how good am I at making something common sound extremely like me?
Yep.
That's a skill now that I enjoy flexing. I made a beat sampling Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. I never heard nobody else do nothing like that. And for me, that was evidence that I can take anything and make it mine and make it uniquely sound like me. So, I don't really have a pro or a minus or con for Splice. I think Splice is just a bank of sounds. I think you're going to have a lower level of people who are, these are the people who just need sounds.
Yeah.
And they're getting them out of necessity, and they really need to create. And then you're gonna have another level where, it's just laziness. Like you could do all this other stuff, but this is easier and more accessible, and there are tools like this for you. You know what I'm saying? Then you have another level, which is somewhere where I think I live, right? Where it's like, nah, I have all of my own ideas. I have too many ideas to even go somewhere else for ideas. But like, it makes it real easy for me to be like, yo, I wish I had wind chimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To add to this, man, I wish I had like a drum fill that was like a steel drum.
Yeah.
Steel drum fill. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It makes it real easy for me to find the decoration that I'm looking for. It's kind of like Splice is like IKEA. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like every other furniture store you would walk through and you would see the furniture, right? IKEA was revolutionary because you could walk through and see the room.
Yeah.
You could see how this furniture works in an ecosystem of other pieces of furniture.
Right.
I feel like Splice kind of lives like that too, and especially with their new
Yeah, the bridge joint.
the bridge joint.
Bridge
That's
is bro.
crazy.
I'm telling you,
the
yeah.
bridge joint where you can listen to a sample or a sound in sync with your current DAW and even choose the key. I think
Yep.
you can choose the key, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it'll like lock in to the timing of it. While you're making the beat, you can audition sounds. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That is like innovation at its finest. And so, as a business owner and just as an innovator, I super admire the people behind Splice. Like, they will go down in the history books one day. They deserve it.
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely fuck with Splice. I use Splice. I have an account, but I think Splice for me is like, I really enjoy the one shots, like the drum sounds and breaks. Like I like getting. I think that's the thing I get the most from Splice is just like breaks, the fills. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna chop that stuff up. But what I love to sample the most are compositions. And so
What up, Quota?
when I go to like the composition pieces, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I find the most inspiration. It's like, oh, this like chord progression or, you know what I'm saying? Like this choir thing or something or this movement. And sometimes them joints get chopped up, you know, to a whole new thing. But sometimes I just like to loop it up. You know what I mean? Like that's just, you know, when I get a record off vinyl, sometimes I'm just getting that loop. And I really have a hard time at putting it into words. It's like when I loop up the Splice joint versus looping up a record. It feels different. Like I definitely feel like there's just something in me that tells me I didn't do enough, or this is the easy way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't really feel that way when it comes to records. Like when I get something off TrackLab, another comparable kind of site that offers something different. Like I don't really feel that way, or you know what I'm saying? But when it's like a Rhodes, you know, chord progression, I feel like that's got to get mangled.
I feel you.
Because it's from Splice, and I really don't have no real like.
That's
It's purely just a feeling, and I think it has something to do with the fact that it's so accessible that like, you know, I think it's just more so ego maybe, like because it's so accessible. Like you don't want people. Like I don't want to feel like people view me as just like, oh, that's all he.
Yeah.
Oh, he just like, you know what I'm saying.
I can stick to it. I know what it is. It's like, what did I say? Familiarity breeds contempt. You know, I think, you know, like as a creator, a part of showing somebody something is like you want them to admire what you did.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, imagine showing somebody a picture that you drew, and then they're just like, man, where'd you get that frame from? Like, you want them to admire the part that you actually did.
Where'd you get that frame from?
The part that you were unsure about.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? You want them to validate, like, your creative mind. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at times, you know, you don't want people to so easily be able to recognize. I mean, and this is a real vulnerable statement for some to admit, is that you don't want people to recognize that they too could have made what you made.
Yeah, that is a
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good one.
you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this, you know, he's not that much of a genius. I could have did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I rocks with that, but that just reminds me of like it was an interview with Pharrell speaking on like just ideas and how having ideas is like, you know, you having a library card. Like anyone can check these ideas out. I'm pretty sure we've all had situations where you made a beat or something, you probably didn't do anything with it. And maybe some time went by, you heard someone else with something similar, whether it be a mainstream artist or whatever. You're like, bro, how did he, you know? But it's an idea. It's not necessarily locked to you, so to speak. But yeah,
I say I haven't used Splice yet, but I do like the fact that it has like, you know, those go-to sounds that you need. But I've also rather enjoyed like trying to find my own sounds lately, like just actually using my mic and using what I know from like EQ and stuff like that to actually like find the sound that I'm looking for and, you know, save it as that, you know what I'm saying? And boom, I have my own sound. But like most of the sounds that I have gotten have been like especially from years back, like I've got sounds that I've had for like 8 years now or whatnot, and I still be fucking with them, you know what I'm saying? Right. But and that's probably another reason as to why I haven't like gone off to any sites or whatnot yet. Like I'll go and I'll look at it, but then I'll be like, damn, I still got all these thousands of sounds I keep recycling and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Low key, I think if I was someone like you, I wouldn't even be worried about Splice or any of that. Like you sing, you write. Like I would be sampling myself so much. Like you are a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, I think that I think we're also, if we were to zoom out, right, I think that there is a larger trend happening here that lives out in and outside of music. I would say the biggest thing that I've seen transform in like the last 20 years, just across the board, is that we're in like a revolution of accessibility. And that's changing. So because even like sitting here and discussing this, you know, it just lets me know like we're in an era where, you know, just certain things just aren't valued anymore. Because like, I mean, let's look at it from a technological standpoint. When I was coming up making beats, like a big part of like your beat was that you figured out how to even make this beat. Like when somebody was listening to your beat, like it wasn't just like, oh wow, the beat itself melodically and tonally is amazing. It was like, wow, this guy is smart enough to make a beat.
Yeah.
He knows how to work this machine, right? And at the time, it's this machine with a screen this big, right? But he knows, wow, that's amazing. But as technology has advanced, right, we have machines and software that meets us. That's lucky. We have machines and software that meet us now. Like we don't have to go to Mongolia anymore. The software is now coming to the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, with that being said, accessibility has changed.
Yeah.
So now like many more people can be producers. The same thing has happened with DJing. Like when I was trying to learn how to DJ, the first thing you had to spend months learning how to touch and maneuver the record without skipping the needle. You had to develop a light touch and all of these mechanics. Whereas now, that stuff don't even matter no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the machines and the technology have come so far to where things that used to matter just don't matter anymore. And now it's all about accessibility. It's not even about can you do it anymore. It's not even about, okay. It's not even about like, you know, can you do it anymore or how smart you are. It's just about like, how creative are you?
Yeah.
Right? How creative are you? That's the new like measurement.
Yeah,
You know?
and
For sure.
I think, and that's also why for me, there's no shame with Splice. I think it's because I've put so much time into learning how to make beats without Splice or without these other samples to the point where now I'm like, oh, it's cool. That I don't mind using these things as a tool versus like having to strictly rely on these things. So for me, it's like, it's just a difference because I put the time in and I know if somebody was like, yeah, bro, I don't want to use Splice. All right, cool, bet. I can make something, no problem, or bring in someone to get the idea out versus having to rely on, you know.
Yeah, and again, to me, like I feel like you hit the needle on the head where it's like, you know, well, the two things you said were just that like certain things just don't matter anymore, and that shift, like you have to. Like even if you in theory accept that, like you still have to like that's when that's shaped part of your identity as a producer and your process, right? And the things that you value. When those things aren't valued, it is like a shift that you gotta kind of work through. But also when you said, you know, just like, you know, nobody wants to feel like what's going on. Yeah. But nobody wants to feel like, you know, everybody can just do what you do.
No, that's
you know what I mean. Like,
if you really care about this,
you know what I'm saying. And so, like, step one, you got access to the sounds I got now in bulk. So that's already like that's another layer. And now because everybody got that has that same access, you know. If that's something you internally value, I just feel like you're subconsciously doing these things to hide the fact that I got this from this Splice pack. You know what I mean? Whether that is flipping it a certain way. Like, I do feel like there's a subconscious part of us that is trying to prove that, you know, you're not like me. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I don't think it's always purely in service to the idea. I think there is a part of it is like,
No, I mean, I think that, and I, just to take it in the direction of how I used to do it, where it was like, you're not like me because of my ability to find these kinds of samples. Like, in other words, like you're going to wherever, you know what I'm saying? You're going to, I don't know, something that is where everybody goes to. And I'm, like, for example, getting Brazilian records shipped to me or buying stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where it's just like, again, like, where you got the sample from is like your spleen now, meaning at some point in human history we needed that junk, but it is no longer valued. Like,
I think
You know what I'm
another.
saying?
I know for me, speaking for me, I know where that changed is like I've seen, and it's crazy, but I've seen people like on YouTube like recreating beats, and they be on point. They never went to Splice or whatever, because to them it just sounds like another composition.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily. Of course, when you originally created, you had to sample, and you knew what you was going to chop. But once you chopped it and flipped it, whatever, it just sounds like a new composition. So I've seen people recreate beats just off of this is what this sounds like.
You're right.
So I think that's when I start seeing that more, I let go of the idea of being like, nah, I gotta have the rarest of the rare, and start focusing more on how I flip these things, how I make these things, and I've accepted that challenge of making these things sound like me.
I was gonna say within that though, you're still finding that rare part of you though.
Yeah. And so in that, like, do you feel like if that's the challenge, right? If that's what you're going for, do you feel? And I'm not saying you have to. I'm not trying to force you to feel something. But do you feel like do you feel like some sort of like lessening of what you created when somebody can break down what you did? You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody could be like, oh, I see you, just as an example, oh, you took the intro and then you took the bridge and then used that sample, that part of it to make this. And that's how you did it. Like if I could just say that to you.
That's what I'm saying. I used to, but like now I understand there are people out here that like legit study this stuff to recreate samples or beats or whatever. Like especially even me coming in when I first started, like recreating some of my favorite producers, their songs just on some learning. Like it's people now like this is what they do. Like you call people in to hey, I need to recreate this sample, and they can do that. Like I understand now that like, that's a skill in itself. So I no longer feel the pressure of being like, nah, you shouldn't, can't nobody. Now there is a thing when
I'm saying like if I could tell you like, oh, you got it. All right, so I see you got it from the Kenny Beats joint, and then you use that one.
No, it's no difference than like. I forgot the name of the song, but it's a Flying Lotus song. The one I sent you I sent you what he sampled and how he like it's no difference than that. Yeah. If you find a rare sample where to you it may be like, oh, this is rare, but someone that's deep in their bag in that world, they can tell you like, oh, you got this from here. You use this drum break from here. Like I said, when I was going through learning about how Kanye made his beats and how many samples he took from different albums and this and that, like that's a skill. Yeah. And I feel like it would be foolish of me to be like lock in so much on that and trying to make sure no one else can recreate this idea, because I feel like then that, and once you get to that point, you're no longer just creating. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah, man, talking to you is definitely like making me realize how much my ego is still a part of my process.
Yeah. I had to lose that. It was because I found myself in times when I was creating, thinking about those things like, I didn't do enough. Someone can easily recreate this or whatever. But like I said, now I'm seeing this and learning that's a skill. Like there's people out here that really practice and study other producers to recreate their sound or learn from them. So it's like knowing that now is
also scary as fuck.
It is. But even and another thing too, like even if you have access to the sounds that I have, you don't know the people I know. You're not going to approach it the way I'm going to approach it. Like there's so many elements of me that you don't have. So it's no longer like scary to me.
Yeah, and for me, it's not like I'm afraid somebody is gonna make the beat. It's more so that they're gonna. I think the feeling is specifically that they're gonna not ascribe the skill I want ascribed to what I made. because they can easily break down and identify the components of how I put this thing together, especially if those components come from the most accessible sound source in the world.
I feel that, but I would feel, like I said, I would feel differently if my creative process relied and truly depended on these platforms. But like I said, if I'm in a room with someone that recreate beats or whatever, and you don't have the skills that I have, I cannot use Splice.
Yeah.
You have to rely on Splice. Like it's like whatever.
But even people that use these plugins and stuff like that, can we really say that they know how to use this shit? Like they, you know what I'm saying? Like for real though.
But
like,
exactly.
Some niggas just be placing and dropping and shit and be like, oh, let me turn this down, put a compressor on here, put an EQ on there. I say that because I used to be one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Like we're gonna approach it differently. So
Yeah, I mean, that's again, it's not even like, it's just like, bro, you broke this down a little too quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but hey, no,
you got me a little bit. You got me.
And
you know what I'm
motherfuckers get
saying?
offended by that though.
No,
Some producers do get offended by that though.
I feel like that's an ego thing. You will feel the way if you know wholeheartedly that you didn't put enough effort into this. Like we was talking about when Mad recreated someone's beat with like legit 2 clips, like just drag 2. And I was like, bro, what?
What's
But like legit, I watched him do this, and I was sitting back here like,
That's terrible. Like, as a producer, if you just legit dragged over 2 samples and you have my beat now, that I would take it personally, and that's why I was saying, like, okay, I didn't do enough to make this me. That's my only things about stuff like that. But yeah, that was wild to me.
Yeah, there is a lot of we're in a transitional period where who you're around is going to determine like
How you create.
whether or not how you created it feels valuable to you, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we're in this transitional period of like ambiguity where we don't know. You know, like there are certain people who don't give a damn if you sample something that everybody else sampled or got from a place, and then there's certain people who are gonna be I'm gonna be real. Like if you playing beats for the players in this game, if you like, yo, let me go play beats for Pharrell or Kanye or Dr. Dre, and they like, yo, man, where you get that sample from? You say Splice, they gonna
look at you.
You're not gonna have that same level of integrity. It's just the truth.
Might
You
lose
know what
that
I'm saying?
bag.
Yeah, I mean, but that's because that's how they value things. But then there are a lot of producers who don't value things that way, and we're just in this transitional period of like, you know, the multiple ways to look at it. But I think what matters the most, and I'm gonna be honest, this is where I'm at right now as a producer. Like, as a producer, just being all the way live with you, it's a lot less about the beat and more about the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The finished product.
Like, to me, that's the one thing that, like, you can't download.
Yep.
Like for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could take a sample, all of us, even if we all make the same beat, we're not going to make the same song.
Right.
And we've done that with the producer challenges, you know?
Absolutely. And this is why, because to me, like, one of the most polarizing examples of this was the grinding jump with Clips and Pharrell.
That's
Like,
Come on.
that is straight out of the most purchased keyboard in
Yep.
hip hop history.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was Pharrell literally played that fucking around and was like, loop that shit up. Like, yeah, like I remember that discussion. I remember producers being like, this nigga lazy, this nigga blah 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 blah. blah.
That's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Because
Yeah,
as a shorty, I was
Nobody else would have made that song.
That's it, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Nobody else would have made that
That's a
song.
fact.
The way I'm sure of it. The way he sat down Clips and was like, hey dog, they gotta feel like this.
Yeah.
In the video-
producing, yeah.
All that
Yeah,
stuff, like,
producing.
bro, like that was only Pharrell. Only Pharrell was gonna do that. And so for me, it's like, all right, like that's still the part to like, no matter what you do, no matter if you found the most crazy sample, no matter whether or not you played it yourself or whether you was on the homepage of Splice and downloaded the sample, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't matter. What really matters at the end of the day is what song did you make with it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Because that's the last like of the Mohicans in terms of
Now we gonna see where AI go and take it. For right now,
Yeah, right. That's a fact. That's real.
right now,
Yeah, I've been tripping.
What song did you make it? Yeah. Which is why it's gonna take a little. I think, you know what I'm saying, when you use Flying Lotus as an example, it's gonna take a little bit more because that is the song. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that will require a little bit more work.
Yeah, because no matter if you knew where Flying Lotus got his stuff or not, you're not going to make a song like Flying Lotus. So that's why, like I said, there's no longer the scare factor of like, niggas, they gonna know I'm a fraud or where I got my, like, I don't no longer care because you're not going to approach it the way I'm going to approach it.
I feel that. Yeah. Majority of the stuff that Flying Lotus use though, niggas do not know. Like you got to be a different caliber of nigga to be able to be able to tell, to not just remake some Flying Lotus stuff, but to be able to tell where he got his sounds from.
But that's what I'm saying. We're in that world. I feel like this has been a thing, but now it's being showcased more where people that do, like, they have the history, they have the mind to study these things, that know these things, they're putting themselves out more because now they're getting hired by producers to recreate samples and all this other type stuff. So like, once I started to see like that is a culture in itself of people that's truly studying the science of what this producer does, like, yeah, I no longer have that worry of like, man, it's gonna be easy for, like, unless it's a 2-click situation.
Right.
But overall, like, I now know that there are people out here that like they study this shit. Like, this is all they do with their time is recreate their favorite producer beats and learn who they are, you know.
And not even just like producers that are well known, but like even producers that we've never heard of that just wanted to be behind the scenes doing music, you know what I'm saying? Or just being a part of the sound. Like I think that's really effective as well. Like, especially like when people travel like to different countries and stuff like that, go to different locations, and you know what I'm saying, like speaking of Andre, I know he wasn't in fucking America, you know what I'm saying, playing flutes and shit. But if he was, but I'm saying, like, but if he was, you know what I'm saying,
playing flutes.
No.
What you?
But if he was,
Wait, hold up, wait, nah, because
Niggas don't be playing flutes.
that's what I'm like. What you mean?
He couldn't have been in America.
That's what I don't know. This thing is like, what you mean? This man,
No way.
this nigga was not in Seattle playing flutes.
Nah, bro, you bugging on
I know, nigga.
This man was in the laundromat playing flutes. Like, so what you mean? He's not in the, like, you can't play flutes.
What? Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. What other instruments can you not be playing in America?
What? Like, that's a wild statement.
Like, what instruments are like?
No, but think about it though. You got indigenous people and whatnot. You got people that are all from these all different kinds of tribes and whatnot that we always see on these different commercials talk about pay $1 and donate and whatnot. But it's some secret producers out. Come on, y'all know y'all feel me now.
Nah, bro. Fam. First of all, I ain't never seen no donate to an indigenous joint and them niggas was playing a flute. No niggas was ever playing no instrument. So exactly, bro. Like, indigenous to where? Like,
I'm just saying the foreign people, like it be foreign producers out there.
Bro, I'm just curious.
Feel me?
I'm just losing without
flutes, bro. Like, fam, yo, people be playing flute.
That's how I know you boo.
Folks be playing flute. The first instrument a nigga learned in school is a recorder. Like
that's what, like, so that's
the first.
Wait, man, what's the real difference between a recorder and anyway? Go ahead, man. I'm gonna be like, bro, this is a flute. It's a recorder, James.
No, like for real. Like, what is the fucking difference though? Like a recorder and a flute. I'm glad you said that. Like,
yeah, hold on. Y'all saying some wild statements right now.
Time out. Yo, I need for the room to understand the difference between a real question and a hating question. Right? This was not a, hold on, let me look. No, this was a, I'm hating on you, fam. Like, why are you trying to correct me? I said it's a flute, teacher.
Nah, that statement was just wild. The fact that he wasn't playing flutes in America, like what? This man, what was
I'm
it?
just saying, damn it.
That should be the name of this joint, bro. When this stuff go up on YouTube, playing flutes in America is not allowed.
Like that's crazy. I've never.
But I'm just saying he was probably in a space of peace and serenity.
But I feel
in the bushes somewhere, like enjoying himself.
I feel like that's man, chill.
Bro, America is not New York, bro.
Chill
Like,
out, bro. What?
it's mad open spaces for you to
I'm
go
saying,
to,
like,
bro. Like,
y'all act like America is just it doesn't have
it's
any
a big city. Like, nah, bro. Like,
hey, real quick.
he could have went to Shelby Farms and did that.
Just a little tangent, but hey, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody listening. Everybody who's gonna listen. Yeah, once again, this is Type Beat. We got a special guest in the house. My good friend Life's Lucky in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
What up? We might pull you in on the conversation at some point.
Oh, facts, yeah,
So I don't know. You make beats? I think we talked about this before. You don't really be making beats like that. So I wasn't gonna pull you in on the Splice conversation, but we might have some others where we pull you in on.
facts, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Indeed.
I'm still tripping this flute thing.
yeah,
That was
dude,
crazy.
that's a
That was a
wild
wild statement to me, bro. Like
I
what?
had to fall back. I ain't know we might let's get canceled type scenario. We started talking about
Period.
other topics. I was like, yo, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
You go to Seattle, you can't play
you
flutes,
seen them
bro.
commercials where they be giving $1 to the indigenous folks? They always playing flutes.
What?
What is the name of your clothing line? I've never heard of never seen this commercial.
And she like, y'all feel me? Come on, y'all feel me?
Y'all act like it's just me.
I think on this one, I think you play. Hey, I'm a team player, but I think you solo on this one, man.
He couldn't have been in the United States playing no damn flute.
Like what? That's a wild
just a flute,
statement.
man.
Because flutes
Yo, come on now. Y'all know
only
he got
exist
all kinds
in
of
indigenous countries that you give
Let me
$1
change
to.
what I say. He was in a peaceful place when he was making that album.
But why isn't that more like a mental
you couldn't have been
thing?
United States.
That's what I'm saying. Like we have no peace in America at all.
Okay, now hold on. We in Memphis.
Come on.
So I get if we don't
Come
think
on.
it's peace in America.
My fam. I get that, but to say
Peace in America.
Everybody has heard of the Rocky Mountains. You know what I'm
But like I
saying?
said, y'all act like there's no place. Like even if niggas been in complete chaos and made something peaceful, like so why?
Marvin Gaye did. James Brown did. What is he saying? Please.
But that's what I'm saying.
Singing about sexual healing. Let's go on to the next topic.
Come on.
Well, okay, so let's go on to the next topic. But just so y'all know, Splice's pricing model is a little bit predatory, but you know they could do that.
I do want to
So,
talk.
you know,
'cause
next topic.
That's crazy. All right, this is wild.
Listen, though. Okay, commercial stuff. How y'all feel about like?
Just pause right here. Yeah, you're straight.
Now I was talking to the homie Matt because he's done a lot of production for
the camera,
commercial
camera
and
too.
sync and stuff like that. But I wonder, like, and he made a good point. Like, a lot of producers don't really value.
Just so y'all know, I know y'all can hear us, but y'all can't see us.
Oh damn!
You know what I'm saying? Because we hiding our Splice samples that we
Yeah.
downloaded.
We got lost myself.
All 10,000 credits of them.
All 10,000. Y'all niggas on. Y'all don't know. There we go. We did.
Sure.
That's funny.
We
as
back.
hell, bro.
Period.
Had to stretch right quick.
Bro, that flute thing, yeah, that's crazy.
Kid got in his quick comments.
Right.
Next topic, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But yeah, Unique, you were saying, you was talking about the
sync stuff.
about like
Yeah.
commercials.
Like I heard how Matt feel. Like, how do y'all feel about like? And it's crazy because it's very true though. Like when you think about it, like it's like like I've told people that I've done stuff for like the Memphis Grizzlies and work with David Porter, T-Pain, and all these other people, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's what's up. And in my mind, I'm like, damn, like I think I'm doing some crazy ass shit out here. But to them, it's like you said, if you don't see no plaque on the wall or no big ass Grammy something next to your name, like it really don't mean like you did shit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would just have to say I agree. Like, I mean, like, I don't agree that you didn't do shit, but
You doesn't do the biggest of shit.
but I agree. But I just like it's. I I agree with that happens. You know what I'm saying? That's also my experience, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, all the extra stuff, like, there's just multiple reasons to be in the game, and recognition is a part of it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like you just got to decide like how big of a pie that is, like that, how important of a pie that portion of the pie is. God damn.
We're going to take a commercial break. Shout out to all my G's.
How important that piece of the
Hold on,
pie.
there's commercial break. All my G's, you know what I mean? Yo, by the way, unapologeticstore.com, you know what I'm saying? Get your unapologetic garments, fine t-shirts, nice hats, you know what I'm saying? Random bandanas, type shit, you know what I'm saying? We also got all kind of shit for sale, you know what I mean? All right, bet. You know
Good lemon sugar.
Yeah.
Come on.
You just have to determine how important that is to you in the scope of everything that you would be in the music business for, right? Because, I mean, you know, it was a thing when, like, you know, you would hear Timbaland and these producers say, yeah, I get, you know, 50,000 a beat. You know what I'm saying? You can still get 50,000 a beat now. Like, you probably can't get that making, like, songs with people, but you can get that for a commercial. You know what I mean? You can still get that, but those songs are what, like, those are the soundtracks to people's lives. Those are the things that, you know, get people through the day, like normal people. And so, like, that stuff is gonna get.
Come on with the normal.
that stuff is gonna. That stuff is gonna get the recognition and the praise. Like, so when you live in that realm, like, that's the side of the game where you get the recognition. Like, the stuff that's in the background of people's lives, like the music that you hear when you on hold, and the music that plays when a commercial for a product, you know what I'm saying? That's background music. That's also scoring your life, but you don't recognize it. It's not directly tied to your emotions and what you're going through. So it's just not going to get the same amount of love or recognition. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, big shout out my man Red on the beat. You know what I'm saying? In the chat, what up, homie?
Period.
Red.
We got some of your family in the building.
Want me to tell you what's
Okay, that's what's up.
It was good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. It depends on what you deem as success for you in your career, because even if you have a song that, you know, charts on Billboard or whatever, and if you're not around people who recognize stuff like that, they still will look at that like, oh, okay, that's cool. But because they're not in their world, they don't see this as a big thing. So I feel like it really just comes down to what you deem as success for your career, your life, your path. Yeah, because you start playing that game of trying to get the, like you said, recognition is a thing that you want because it can propel you into other rooms and different opportunities. But like, if you live that way, man, you're gonna be highly disappointed and stressed out, depressed, all that, because most people, the average person, don't know the realm of like just the industry and what these things look like, or even if you do get a sync, most people won't know. If you say like, yeah, I got to sync with such and such, unless they seen the show or the commercial, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But not knowing that that's a big ass achievement for you. So it really just comes down to how you view what you're doing.
Yeah. Only people to me that get excited about sync stuff is other producers or musicians that recognize like
that what that means.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got a bag. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Like,
it's weird. It's just, you know, it's just the low hanging fruit. We were talking about this, you know, for everybody out there. We talked about this a little bit before we started this podcast, and like the low hanging fruit. It also lets you know how much more recognition and clout means to people than money or advancing their life.
Crazy.
You know, because there's just so many ways to make money in this game. But if you don't make it the way that everybody understands, for some reason there's some
You ain't
like,
making nothing.
yeah, it's for some reason that's less valuable. You know, that's why I have begun to champion, and I'll admit I had a little bit of shame regarding this for a while, but now I champion the idea. Like, man, I'm one of the most successful producers without a hit song. Like, I don't have no hit. I don't have a hit. I don't have anything that ever got a plaque. You know, but you know, for the last 3 years, I've scored the Good Day America in all of Latin America. You know what I'm saying? I've been. It will be next year. I will have scored music for the Olympics 3 times. You know,
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
Period
to us,
type
we
shit,
like, bro,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
Like,
But
that's-
to average people, they like,
they like, nigga, they ain't shit.
who? Yeah, no, that's what you here for. Yeah, that's what you hear. You're a voice in the room.
Because you had some people that look at that situation and go, damn, you did what for the hoop? You know
That's what I'm saying. If you know what that is,
Yeah.
if you someone that watched the Olympics or you know, you be like, oh, that's crazy because this is part of your world. But if you don't, you be like, okay, man, you know, whatever. Like not knowing how big that is, not knowing how much money you
If
get
they
from
know
that.
how
Like,
big they is, they just hate.
Yeah, no, you know.
that's the
like,
thing too.
I mean, no, but
There's some people.
But are they hating?
but no, but that's a real thing. I mean, I think that like
Definitely.
it's kind of like you know, it's kind of like school, right? So like you have one kid who can like he can run really fast, and then you have another kid who, for some reason, damn, what keep going on with this camera, bro?
Yeah, we still here. We still here.
Hey.
Had to stretch a little bit.
Had to wipe my ass real quick.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Unapologetic.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Go get your merch.
Yeah, it's the let's get canceled culture. You hear me? It's the let's get canceled culture. Period.
I have to go take a shit real quick.
No, that's how I go. You know, I'm at home. It's script.
Oh yeah. So, but that's a real thing though. Like it's what I find is like, you know, let's take it back to the school analogy. So you got one kid who runs really fast in 5th grade, right? And then you got another kid in 5th grade who already knows like chemistry equations and blah 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 blah, right? Okay. He's a nerd, right? Okay. There's a good chance that kid who runs really fast. Well, first of all, that kid who runs really fast is gonna get way more girls than the smart kid. You know what I'm saying? But there's also a chance that the kid who runs really fast might be insecure about not being smart.
And will lose.
Right? And so will diminish the value of the smart kid. Right? Will act like, that kid, he's just a nerd, blah, blah, blah. He not cool, he not blah, 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 blah. As a way to remain valuable in the eyes of the people who find him valuable.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That is 1,000% a thing that happens.
Yeah, we've talked to people like that that'll be like, such and such is killing and sing, but they can't pack out a show. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's some hazy shit, bro.
Hey, it was
They don't
funny.
even know-
I
they
don't
don't
think
even
those
know
people
your
knew who
voice.
they was talking to when they said that. I was like, really? We can do both.
Right. Like, what you talking about?
Go
Like,
ahead.
I think that
We could have a
depends
whole
on
type
your...
beat just off that.
nah, because then we get the rents. Niggas don't.
I'm down for some viral rants, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, yeah, that's crazy.
I think that just depends on your personal achievements.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we value people like looking at us a certain way and feeling a certain way based off of the things that we do. Like, oh, I did X, Y, and Z, bro. And then when they downplay it, we like, damn. The whole time, like you winning. You know what I'm saying? I think
exactly.
it's just like you just gotta realize, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm winning. And sometimes it's gonna take certain people longer to see it because it's like when you talk about sync, like that's something I recently learned about. Like Red, shout out to you because he really put me on. That's something and I thought it was dope immediately. I'm like, you did what? You on what? You know what I'm saying? And it matters. Like some people don't know nothing about it. Some people don't know the value in that. They don't know what type of bag you getting. They don't know that it's possible. So they don't even know that's a goal you could reach for. Like if you're not, because everybody ain't gonna be that. Like,
man, I could have a whole conversation that should only show up in my app about me meeting producers in this city and winning from an unorthodox approach and how they responded to it.
Yeah.
So like, because I ain't got no joints with Dolph, no joints on CMG, no joints on whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've met a lot of producers in this city that have a problem with how celebrated and visible I am because I did not follow their path. Because I did it differently. You know what I'm saying? But the thing I will say is this, right? Is that when you do it differently, it's a lot easier to find the sincere people. Right? Because when you do it differently and you have these people who have a problem with me not taking the same route as them, right? Like, I don't have to wait a year or 2 years to learn these are insecure people, these are fearful people, these are people who don't have my best interest in heart. No. Because if I fit in, it would have took me a long time to see that. But when you stand out, you get to find these people quick. They find you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you find the right people quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. And that's why it's so funny to me because, like, you know, to me, the thing that makes me the anomaly in a lot of ways, and I'm gonna say this, you know, shout out to everybody who's gonna hear me on this. The thing that makes me the anomaly in a lot of ways, right, is that, like, I started in the same place. Meaning, like, I didn't do it differently and had hookups with this and that because I grew up in Collierville. Or I grew up, nah, dog, I'm from Orange Mound, dog, right down the fucking street. Like, me and you was on the block together. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't other me, nigga. I've been here. You know what I'm saying? I've been here. But if you're dedicated to doing that, thank you for showing me, nigga. So now I know who you really are. And I love learning that quick. I don't like taking a whole bunch of time to figure out somebody fake.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Another thing too, like when you do the comment shit, everyone always, that's when you have the family, everybody, like, they congratulate you. They always think like it's some money behind it. A lot of times folks that's actually doing these things, they, like we were just talking about, like the way you're winning with the sync placements and stuff like that, as far as the bag that's attached to it versus someone that you could have a Yo Gotti record or a Dolph record. The money might not look the same because they locked in with the labels. The label's not going to approach it the same way. But on the outside, it looks like, oh, bro, you signed with such and such, so I know you got it.
No.
Like, bro, I'm still.
I got a placement.
And like, I mean, I think that just goes to this. I mean, even on the sync side, like, you know what I mean? Like, you might have gotten, you know, a crazy jump. But if that's the one junk you got, and you know, saying that first check ain't coming till the end of the year, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, you still don't know. So what I'm saying is, like, it's always more than meets the eye on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But it's just you know, again, with the recognition part, it's like, you know, even when you was like going down the list of syncs, like, you know, it's even tears in that, like, you know, song with Yo Gotti. Scoring for the Olympics, scoring for Good Morning America, Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Samsung. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different.
Talking to me, that's big shit.
But you know, like I'm pretty sure you can say the biggest brands don't always pay the biggest checks.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's still.
I really believe
it's still a whole thing.
That shit. For real.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with with art, and that's why I I'm trying to figure out how much of the story I'm gonna tell. All I'm gonna say is this. I talked about this on social media. How, like, I just started dabbling in credit maybe a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything in my entourage of things, in multiple studios, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have no loans. I don't have no investors. This is all from making music and selling it.
Yeah.
Right? Over and over and over again. And there's no way. I think the camera's overheated.
Yeah, a little message popped up.
Oh, did it?
On the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's overheated.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Still,
I got to stretch, man.
it's a stretch.
Yeah, you know, Unique taking a dump in the studio.
Damn, that shit sound like that, bro. Hey, I don't think you need to be doing that. You sound like that.
Sound aggressive.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I ain't gonna even say what I was gonna say. I'm good.
Definition of drop it down.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Shits.
That's
All right, we back. We back.
yeah.
But yeah,
Unique.
The street.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, man, I think that there is that discrepancy in terms of like recognition and getting integrity when you approach it, when you do something that isn't as quickly and easily recognized. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think it's just as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just telling the homies how out of all the things I had done in music, from like engineering the Missy Elliott session to all the stuff that I mentioned before, like, you know, it wasn't until like I was a member of the Grammy Pro Recording Academy, you know, at the lowest level, that my family even understood I was successful in music.
Right, now you
know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not even like a thing. Like, if you understand what that is, like, you're just sitting in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even like a thing. You can't even.
Now all of a sudden
That's what they know.
Now all of a sudden
That's
you
what
doing
they
well
know.
for
Oh
yourself.
God,
James winning, man.
I knew he was gonna
like I've been winning.
So I mean, I think it goes again to like branding. You know, that like there's like not that it's desirable or that you should really just be having to be branding your own family or whatever, but really the part of it is like, I think a part of it is like teaching people the value of what you do. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you bring in an artist, like, sometimes like an artist comes in, they just want their song to sound good, but like in making their song sound good, you also like teach them a few things. Like, yeah, like I got your voice running through this, I got your settings, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, you throw in these little nuggets so they start to understand what you're doing for them.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's a lot easier said than done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in particular, like, I mean, this might be a generational thing too. Like, if you're from like my era, like, you know, I mean, like my folks, my older family, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't about to do all that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, ain't no, like, just
gotta let them think with the
Just wait till you get to the Grammys. Then they gonna get, like, that's it. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, I also remember thinking about all this stuff, and I remember when Memphis Brand Initiative hit me up, and they was like, yeah, we want to put you on a billboard. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, when that happened, it was like, oh my God, James Michael is such a, I was just like, what are you talking about? Right. All the things that I've done, and this is the one.
I've been that nigga.
This is the one.
Yeah. But I just think that you can't blame, you know, people, you know, like there are a lot of people who think, you know, from my era who think like DJ Premier was the best scratching.
Right. Yeah.
It was like, no, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like the way he did it was easily recognizable, easy to grab. You know what I'm saying? They never heard of Qbert. They never heard of DJ Flair. You know what I'm saying? Like they never. So, you know, at some point, it's just you can't really criticize or hate or ask people to. No, like you're deep into a world that everybody else isn't deep into.
Yeah, so they
That's just
don't
how
get
it's gonna
it.
be.
So I just gotta
They
love
just
what
don't
you
get
do,
it,
man.
and they won't get
Get
it.
offended so much. Like, I used to truly get offended, like even by family members when I used to tell them, "Oh, I'm doing all this great stuff, this that, and the other," and they'd be like, "Oh, okay,
get it.
when you going to school or something like that?" And I'm
Yeah,
Because that's what they value. That's what they value.
That's what they
yeah.
value
So
for
when I
real.
learned that people don't value the same shit that I value, I stopped.
Okay, so we got a question.
Man, I did.
That's good.
Got a
Stop
question.
talking to the.
Okay.
No, you good.
Okay. All right.
Stop talking about it. Got a question.
We got a question. I'm curious to know, what does an appropriate response from a regular person to extraordinary news accomplishments look like?
I think
Better than that's what's up.
I guess it more so looks like look as engaged as it was something that you would have rather see me do. No. You know what I'm saying? Like say if I was going to school, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, this, that, and the other, so forth. Like, give me that same energy when I do something that's other than what you see from me. Yeah.
Especially if he's making me happy.
Yeah, and you want to see me
But that's
happy.
the thing,
You know what
that's-
I'm saying?
Okay,
Genuinely.
so all right, so let me just say this, like, as a guy, okay, so one of my favorite things about being here is that, like, 9 times out of 10, unless I'm telling some story that I just don't know nothing about, like, 9 times out of 10, when I talk about an accomplishment here in music, I don't have to educate people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I can just be like, I did this, and there's an immediate like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Like, you get an understanding of how hard that is to do
they
or
know.
how hard that is to be selected.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. But outside of here, you know, I understand that that's going to be dramatically different. I think for me, like, I'm not expecting everybody to know everything.
Right.
But there's two parts of it that when I see people do this, I appreciate you more, right? The first and foremost is this, right? Is like, you may not understand the accomplishment that I'm telling you, but if you can read the room enough to acknowledge my excitement, right? Like, that's another way to understand how people look at you too.
Exactly.
Shout out to my
That's what I was gonna say.
It's
My
because,
sister
like,
a real
it's because,
one,
like,
for real.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't need to know what kid is talking about to
Yep.
just be hype and happy for him
Yeah.
because he's hype and happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if
That's
I
it.
don't know what it is,
That's it.
I'm just like, oh man, well let's go. Like, I'm
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just happy you feeling like
Yeah.
this.
That's it.
And then the second thing is equally important, right? Is that you care enough about me, right? Or you care enough about this to ask some questions. You don't understand,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So you
To
don't understand
educate
what it is.
yourself on what I'm doing.
Right. I'm not saying you got to go and fucking, know it as well as I do. You know what I'm saying? No. But what I am saying is just that, like, like, if I tell you, hey, I just did music for this, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Be like, okay, cool. Well, like, how did you make that happen? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, was it easy? How long did it take you?
Ask
me
Or,
some
like,
questions.
God, make me feel.
Can I hear it?
feel all right.
I can't tell you how many people I've talked to about my music, and people just be like, yeah, and then, like, it's only a select amount of, who actually be like, you did that? Yo, can I hear that? Like, I want to know more about it than just be like, man, good for you,
That's
bro.
what's up.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing,
You know
though.
what I'm saying?
I feel like you stated earlier, that just shows who really fucks with you and who don't.
Who don't, yeah.
Because the people that really fuck with you, even if they don't know the context of what you're talking about, and they see that you're excited, they're going to be
They
excited.
want the-
they want you to be like,
and they
oh,
want to know.
Yeah,
they
then they
want
to ask some questions. But
'Cause
people
my
that don't
grandma
really fuck
look
with
up.
you,
I'm telling you, my
Yeah.
grandma gonna look at. I tell my
That's
grandma
how my
something, she
sister
don't know
is.
about nothing. She don't know about nothing. But she be like, okay, because she always asked me, like, at one point she never asked me about music. But I think, like, the more and more my family started kind of saying they'll see me a little bit more in it, it's like, damn, like, my grandma, like, what you doing for real? You know what I'm saying? Like, show me. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
because-
saying? So
yeah.
I'll go to the, like, pages. Even when I linked in here, like, I went to the pages and I showed her. I'm like, hey, they doing X. Oh, you with them? You be over there? That's what's up. And then it she has a certain excitement about it because now you can see.
Yeah.
And that shit go the other way too, because some people would just see your face a little bit. You might have ran a couple ads and they be like, oh, you doing it big. And the whole time it's like, nigga.
yeah, but I mean, that a lot of times that comes from.
excitement feels good.
It does though. It
Yeah,
does.
but that comes from people that actually care about you.
They care about you.
And they're not on some agenda shit like, oh, well, I'm just using you for this. Like, people that actually care and are invested in who you are as a person, as a creative. Those are the ones that's going to ask those questions. Those are the ones that's going to be excited about whatever achievement whether no matter how big or small it is, to them, it's going to seem like it's the world, it's the greatest thing because they fucks with you.
They fuck with you. And that
Exactly.
it matters, dog.
Yeah, no, it definitely matters.
For sure.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think, like, that's, some of my favorite people in the world, they didn't and still don't fully understand me or what I do.
Man.
But they're inquisitive.
Yeah.
Like that, like,
That makes a difference.
that means so much to me. I understand that I am like this, I'm different, you know what I'm saying? But if you just try,
It means the world to us, for real, for real.
Like, we don't
You
have
drop that name in certain rooms. and
right,
some
that's what I'm
people-
saying.
You might get a free
You know
10
what I'm saying?
tickets.
Red
to
light,
the
blue
party.
light. You know what I'm saying? Just when you around. I'm already up here in the corner with
really
it.
passionate about
you
this
can reach
moment
this way. Like, give me one of that.
There's enough mics in this bitch.
Nah, bro. I super feel you. And to me, it's like that. If I were to answer that question, I would have said like, yo, just be genuine. Because like, if you're not that excited, like, that may not make me feel the greatest, but like, it would teach me something about you. Not even so much that like, not even so much of it's basically whether or not you fuck with me or not, or you care about what I'm doing. But even it could get as nuanced and like, what things do you care about? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what can I even talk to you about? You know what I mean? Like, and that's just gonna better our relationship, whether that means we get closer or further apart.
For sure.
Let me ask you this real quick. You know what I'm saying? You got the mic. You got
You
the
know what I'm
mic.
saying?
Good.
Like-
All right, cool. I had to check.
You know what I mean?
I know. You know what I'm saying? Briefly, real swiftly, talk about a time you were excited about something that you did or something that you were a part of, and you were not met with excitement or any sort of curiosity. Yeah.
Wipe my forehead off.
Yeah.
And how you felt.
Yeah, it was like, it just feels a little isolating. Like, you just feel a little bit alone. And then there's like a part of you that kind of, that has to consider, like you just start to maybe reconsider whether or not what you're talking about is as exciting as you felt. That's how I felt. And it doesn't feel great. But there's been, I can't think of many times where that's happened that I also didn't talk to somebody else and was met with like a different response to more so validate how I'm feeling. And so I think it's like the comparison of the two of people that I would consider close in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like of the two that help me better understand what do I go to you for? You know what I mean? Like what can I, you know what I'm saying? Like if I specifically need something, what do I go to you for versus this person? You know what I mean?
Change your expectations to avoid disappointment.
You better. Sometimes it's necessary for real, or the same people will keep giving. I'm telling you, some people I don't even tell them. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell
That
them.
part.
I just gotta. It is what it is. Like,
But is there somebody that you feel like you just gotta be able to tell, and like not telling them is just not gonna work?
My girl, of course. Like whoever I'm in a relationship with, my girl, my mama gassed up. She don't care what. My mama always gassed up because she always gonna find out or whatever. Like it's so many people that don't support you like musically. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they don't know outside, so it's not like real. You know what I'm saying? They expect you to do so much more. And what's dope is like my mom, like knowing a lot of my friends and knowing a lot of people, they done told me their stories or how bad they folks is on them. Like I got some friends personally that's fired, that done did some shit, and they folks, they don't see value in what they do because it's not something of value to them. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate the fact that I could tell my mom anything. Like anything, like any accomplishment I feel like I made, and she gassed. Like, and she trying to dig into it. She, okay, well, let me look this up. Oh, they make her, let me see how to get, you know what I'm saying? Like, she do embroidery and shit. I told her I want to start my own. Oh, before I knew it, she was buying shit. Like, because, I do this. I'm here, and I always gotta tell them, it's always my mom, my girl for me, always my girl, just cause she's gonna be that support. Like if something needs to be done and right now I can't, whatever, she gonna do that first. Make sure that get done and then we'll figure out whatever on the back end. It's just, it's that for me, and it's like those things right there, and those few people that are like fans that genuinely do look out for you and wait on you to do things. So I tell some people, even if it's 12 motherfuckers, like everybody got their space and their time. Like folks be bitching about support, but I'm like, man, some people never buy your album, but they gonna download it. Or some people never buy it, they gonna like every picture, every post, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't like your post, but they come to shows. Like all those people matter, all those things matter, is levels to that shit. And I don't know, I had to change what I appreciate because of your excitement. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to learn, like, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying? I had to accept people for what they fucked with about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then when I make a certain accomplishment and I do things, like the people that are proud of, the people that do dig a little bit deeper, them the people I tell my next accomplishment to. As far as this goes, you know what I'm saying? That's just, you know.
I also kind of learned, I mean, and this is something that just in general has been like a lifelong learning lesson for me, is just that, like, some of it too, you know, it kind of goes back to what you were saying about reading a room, right? Like, I know sometimes my excitement for something is not how I present the information. And so, like, people will meet me.
You're the,
That's real.
okay. Hold on. That's a real point globally. Yeah. But I've never seen somebody go through that the way you do. Never. Like, you in your mind will be doing 8 foot in the air cartwheels and look like you hate somebody. I've never seen somebody who, how they feel and how they look is so different.
Yeah. So, like, sometimes, like I have to, like, people will, like, match my energy.
Yeah.
And then I'll be realizing that, I'm calm as hell too. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you calm shouldn't be that surprising, but that's not how I feel. You know, and then sometimes, like the way you present it, like, it's the cool to not care type vibes. So I'm not saying I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care. But, you know, sometimes I might present something like, I just, you know,
segue.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might present something like, I just got the Ableton push. You know what I mean? I'm expecting y'all niggas to be like, what? Damn! You know what I'm saying? To my calm. You know what I'm saying? To my calm. You know what I'm saying? To my little calm. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever, and y'all supposed to. But, like, y'all might be like, yo, that's what's up. You know what I mean? I'll be like, y'all don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, y'all niggas don't get it. And part of it, I guess I'm expecting some responsibility, because, you know, sometimes people are just reading you. They're like responding to what you're bringing to the room. And so I know a lot of times I just don't bring that kind of hype energy always. And so, like, I cut people some slack for meeting me where I appear to be.
You're like, I just did something for the Olympics.
Oh yeah, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Facts though.
No, I'll say this, man. Like, I have never seen anybody deal with that dynamic the way you. It has been as a mentor to you. It has been. Frustrating and hilarious at the same time.
Right.
Watching you manage this. And so, but no, I mean, I definitely feel like we all bear some responsibility in making sure that people, you know, and if I'm being real, sometimes it's not just like maybe a natural disposition to be calm. Sometimes it's like, and honestly, this is what I find, not even sometimes, most of the time, right? You might mention something calmly because of, like, not wanting to seem like stuck on yourself or vain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like what you just said about me saying I did something for the Olympics, right? So, like, in my mind, I'm hype about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to stun on everybody, you know what I'm saying?
They want you to stun.
I'm also not trying to feel like I'm trying to compete or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I might be like, you know, a couple jumps for the Olympics.
See,
you know,
I literally
light,
just told
you feel me?
somebody,
Like,
whether you say that or not, for real, like yesterday I just talked to somebody, and it's always a competition.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and I know, like, somebody told me I was overly humble the other day, and I'm like, I ain't did shit yet. I'm waiting.
We all feel
you know what I'm saying? But because of, you know, the way they see you or whoop, they expect a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? They expect it to be, but that's your normal. You like, bitch, I get placements every week.
Right.
It is what it is. You know, and ain't nothing wrong with that either. You get what I'm saying? Like, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So. This is something, but man, being genuine, and again, I just want to echo being genuine. Also, like if if you're a genuine person, if you're genuinely interested, like, and you don't know, you would genuinely want to know, so you can further, you know, be in the excitement. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a hard time, like, again, it's something I'm working on, but I do have a hard time, like I just be sometimes, like, I just have, it's like two sides, like, I just have a hard time, like, lying to people. You know what I mean? Like, I have a hard time. I have a hard time pretending. Like, it would be easier to be excited and not seem that way than it would be to not be excited and act excited about something. Like, that's definitely a skill. Yeah. And sometimes, like, you know, sometimes when you don't understand somebody's excitement for something, like, there's a process that needs to be going. So being genuine may not be that initial reaction, but it might be the, like, tell me more about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can understand, like, the significance, because otherwise it'd be fake. You know what I mean?
But I was gonna say,
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Because, like, I like, nah. I think it all depends on your connection to the person.
Yeah.
Like, like I have people come in and tell me stuff that they're excited about all the time. And I don't have no idea what they're talking about. I haven't even gotten a chance to ask them questions. But I can see the excitement in them, and I'm ready to pick them up and, like, be like, yeah, let's go. We'll get to the questions in a second, but right now it's like,
that's what's up.
I think it's just, I guess I'm speaking more so, like, if I had told somebody something and they were excited, they acted excited, and then I found out they had no idea what they were talking about, I guess I would feel like there was a part of it that, to me, it would just feel like it wasn't fully genuine, because I guess you didn't really care to find out more.
You mean,
know?
like, so okay, so you mean, like, okay, I think we're talking about like a time difference. So, like, you're saying they just never asked you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna pick you up, and then I'll be like, all right, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Some people
Like,
just don't know and be gassed up.
yeah, I was gonna say some people, even though they're asking, oh, okay, that's good. You know, what are you doing? Like, some people just, like, I've experienced, like, being asked those questions just to dig into what I got going on, just to tell me that it ain't good enough. That's where it messed me up.
I was about to say, you gotta stop talking to them folks.
No, I did.
Because they spent money. They spent time and energy.
Yeah,
no, so I would get excited. Something great would happen. I would call X, Y, and Z's, and they would be like, oh, okay, well, just because of what the person who bore me did and didn't work out for them, they look at my stuff and be like, oh, okay, well, what are you doing? Well, how's it going for you? Well, are you making any money from it? And if I'm not making X, Y, Z to compare to what they're making with their degrees and all this other stuff, then it's like,
nothing to them.
Yeah, it's nothing.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? And I've dealt with that all my life. Like, all my life. And that's...
I mean, so I'll just say this too. And I think in this moment, I'll explain it. Give me a little bit of buffer room. I'll explain why hearing that makes me happy. Okay. What I find is that that dynamic is okay. If I had to say there's a road to becoming I Make Mad Beats, right? I think somewhere in, like, milestone 1, 2, and 3, and let's just say there's 30 milestones, somewhere in the first 3 is loving yourself and what you do enough to disregarding those people.
Shit,
LJ know from the gate. This is what I've been telling this man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, you know, like, at some point, and it's gonna be lonely. When you do it, these people love you and you love them. Right? But do you recognize that when you have these encounters, they affect you emotionally and your energy in a way that is detrimental to your goal?
Yes, I did.
Ooh. Yeah, I say that then.
That's a place. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is detrimental not just to you, but to your goal.
Yeah.
And if you're a goal-oriented person, sometimes that means more to you than it being detrimental to you.
It really did.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
really did.
And so, a part of you reaching your goal
Getting that out the way.
And it was very fucking lonely, and it hurt, but I went through that shit.
Now, let me explain why.
Congratulations.
I have big. We gonna dab it up. No,
My
that's
bad.
okay. Now, let me explain why I in my head smiled when you said that. Because that sentiment is so familiar to me, right? I've been through so many stages of that, right? Because there's the like, I want to do music. Then there's the people who don't get it, don't understand, tell you to do something else. All right, then you're doing music. And then there's people who are saying, no, you should do it this way, right? At every level, think about it. You can become the president of the United States, and 50% of the country will still be telling you you need to do something different.
Yeah.
Like, there is no level where somebody's not telling you to do something different.
Yeah.
Right? Right, okay. Now, but the reason why I smiled in my head was because while I've been through that so much in my life, right? When you said that to me, my thought was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Damn, why does that feel like that was so long ago? Oh, it's because you did a great job and making sure these motherfuckers is nowhere near you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
That's it. You know
For
what I'm saying?
sure.
Like,
For sure. They got to see that shit from the outside.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And creating a place here, I say it all the time, one of my favorite things to brag about is how, like, if and we literally went through this. If I was like, yo, kid, we got to get a helicopter and just fly around the city. This nigga kid is like, all right, well, helicopters are they're available tomorrow. It's about 700 down, and then we got to find a pilot. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
For real.
To be around people where know how big your idea is. Right?
It's reachable.
They're immediately trying to help you make it happen, right? And when you do that for long enough, you be forgetting about that world out there. You be like, oh yeah, there's people out there. I forgot about y'all. Are y'all okay?
I literally didn't think about those things until we started talking about it. Cause like I used to go to mad about that shit all the time. I'd be like, bro, I'm tired of my family. Like they get on my nerves, they down my neck. I love them and I respect how they feel. You know, I ain't never cussed I cussed my family out for the first time this year.
You congratulate again. Congratulate.
I'm 35 years old.
You gotta get on your family.
The range of reactions to that statement.
Oh God, cause you gotta get on your family ass, bro. Your family a real deal. Like they'll have ideas and shit in their head, and they expect you to be a part of they box that they done already closed off to them 4 walls, and you
I
like,
know they mean well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But I'm like, my life is not your life, and quit reminding me of what I did when I was younger.
And that'll make you chill because you feel like they mean. Last night, that'll make you, because you feel like some people do that all the time. I don't went through people downing me or making me feel certain ways about what I'm doing. You getting older now, or you X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case is. And whole time it's just like, at the end of the day, hey, you gotta get on. I know a lot of folks stuck in my granddaddy, my da-da-da-da-da, they'll never see it. Nah, fuck that. If nobody is the person that get on their ass and tell them, you get what I'm saying? They ain't never gonna learn, because you never stop learning. A lot of people feel like because older people or certain people are just so stuck in their ways, you can't, they can't learn shit else, you can't see nothing. Nah, you gonna see that or you ain't gonna see me. You get what I'm saying? And later on, I have people come up to me and be like, hey, why you ain't whoop the whoop? Or I see you doing your thing because you checked in now, because when you tried to play on me, I stopped fucking with you.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you one of the hardest parts about this, fam. Especially when you're dealing with this with people that you love.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna tell you one of the hardest parts is that when you say, all right, man, like, I need to do this for my goals, and like this energy that I get over here is not only not helping me, it's hurting me get to my goals, right? And then you go this way. I'm gonna tell you the hardest part is that the people over here are gonna take that as you punishing them.
Yeah, every time.
You're doing something
every
to them.
time,
right.
bro.
They're gonna take it personal. They're gonna take it like you're saying, man, fuck y'all. No, it's not that. It's just that I need to do this.
And see, I let them feel like fuck them.
No, facts. You have to.
It's some of them you do it. For real. But here's the thing. I 1000% have to go through this multiple times in my life, and every time I have to go through this, I feel less and less. bad.
You don't feel bad about
Yeah,
it.
in the beginning it was hard because you love these people love you, but you know that in their current mind state, they not good for you and where you want to go.
to see you, man.
know what I'm saying?
You want them to see you.
And so, but that's the thing though. The thing about it, the thing that I've had the beauty of going through is just that like once you actually get to where you're going, right? Okay, there's gonna be a petty part of you. There's gonna be like once you actually get there, and then they're gonna be like,
You see
"Yo,
me at
James,
Carrie,
man,
I'm
you know
trying
what?
not to.
Yo,
I'm
you've
trying
always been
not to.
dedicated, bro. You know what I'm saying? You always blah blah, and you just kind of like,
All right, bro,
I'm
shut
trying
up.
not to.
Yeah, I think.
right, but and in the beginning, I think it's okay to feel like that.
I ain't gonna go
But
too far.
after some time, I realized that like, nah, like. If I'm being honest, I'm the artist.
Yeah.
I'm the visionary.
You the person
The
who's supposed to
definition
show.
of visionary means I'm seeing stuff you're not
seeing.
That's it. You foreseeing what average people see. When the average
Yeah.
For real though. I feel it.
Nah, because the advice that you gave me, to most people, you should advise that.
Yeah.
You just didn't recognize I'm not
That
most
most
people.
people.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
Because the laws of averages would suggest most people, this advice would be good for them.
You gotta
You
force some
just didn't
people
take
to
the
see you.
time to recognize, wow, this guy's a little bit different. Now, and some people did. That's the thing. There are some people I met. There are some people who I knew over time that like I will never forget being 17 years old. And I shout out to my man. Big shout out to my man Pat, man. My OG, man. He's my brother-in-law. I met him, man, and I was still in my shy phase, so I was like, I wasn't saying nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Pat is, he's a bit older than me. You know what I'm saying? But I just remember meeting him, and him just being like, something different about you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, something special. And I remember him just telling him like, yo, man, I just want to do music. And he's like, yeah. Nah, man, well, you gonna do that music? I can see it in your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I don't know. I remember him just talking. Sometimes for like 10 minutes. And me saying nothing. I'm not contributing to the conversation at all. It's just 10 minutes of like,
you that one. Yeah, you that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you, man. You know what I'm saying? And then, and in the midst of that, you're just dealing. I'm dealing with this amalgamation of feelings because I am on one end trying to receive how much love he's throwing me. On another side, I'm like feeling the pressure of like, yo, this man believed this much. I better succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
And then lastly, I'm thinking like, man, why can't everybody else see me?
He don't
like
even
this?
know me. He don't even know me like that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this man don't even know that I get straight A's on. This man don't even know I done won and beat everybody and everything. Like he don't even know that shit. He don't even believe in me. Y'all know that stuff, and y'all
And
be
still
like,
be
well, I
like-
don't know, James. Like,
but I've learned.
That is so frustrating.
I've learned with stuff like that, like you said, average people do average shit.
Man,
so
for sure.
if you're not an average person, to them, it looks scary.
It does.
It's very like, nah,
I don't
they
got my shit together.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks like I don't know if you're gonna succeed that way. I don't know if you can sustain a life doing this because
Just
they're
'cause
scared.
it's a risk and a chance in the
Exactly,
eyes.
they're
Like,
scared to take that risk to do that thing.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people that were passionate and had dreams, but because they were scared to take that leap, they can't respect it, or they look at it like, I don't know, man, I couldn't get there, so you can't.
No,
Like, nah, nigga,
Don't
you're not
waste your
taking the
time, bro. You gonna be
Exactly, but they're not willing to take the risk that you're taking to get there. But I mean,
I should.
I feel like you should.
give me the fucking.
You should. I feel like we should champion that more, because the sooner you get around the people and you recognize that, hey, they don't get it, the sooner you can move elsewhere and move forward to get to where you're going.
I'll holler at y'all when y'all see it.
That's
y'all look call me.
Like I was like, yeah. Oh, I appreciate. Come on. But yeah,
everywhere.
Mine's everywhere. You want me to? I was like, I told my family, I was like, it would be nice if y'all could come show up to the shows or something like that. If I tell y'all something, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all always talk about these hundreds and thousands of dollars y'all want us to come out and visit. I'm like, hey, I be having stuff going on, so I'm gonna tell y'all.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, you gotta let us know in advance, this, that, and other. Boom. I let them know about the Shell show a month in advance now, and even reminded them. Only one person showed up out of that whole 20 person.
Hey, shout out to that one believer.
20-person close family members group text. Oh,
I'm gonna say this, and this is an interesting statement. So, this is all for all my creatives and entrepreneurs out there. It's hard when you ask your family to be a part of something and they don't show up. Like, I think that's as personal as it gets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regarding your journey to your ambition and the people around you, it's your family. You know what I'm saying? These people who have known you since you were 6 years old, it's not about them. It's not just about like you want them to be there. You also want them to be proud of you.
Yeah.
Because they saw you when you were 6 and 7 and 9 and 10, and you want them to see your growth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. With all of that being said, nah, I'm not gonna go that far.
I'll be trying not to do that.
I'm gonna say this.
I love
I'm gonna
them
say
folks.
this. Like with all of that being said, man, one of the best positions I've ever taken as an entrepreneur, thought leader, or whatever is simply this: nobody owes me nothing.
Nothing.
That
Ever,
part.
ever. Everything.
That part.
If anybody owes, if you
That
feel
part.
like somebody's supposed to be there just because they supposed to be there, that is at some level some form of entitlement. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
You're gonna
and
hurt
so-
yourself every time.
and so what I do is like I'll invite and let me be clear. I want to be clear about something. This is not a binary thing. Meaning like I can say that, right, and know that to be true, and still be disappointed or sad when my family
Yeah.
doesn't show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anybody's wrong for their emotions.
Yeah.
No, not at all. You know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is just that like at the end of the day, I know these people don't owe me nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is where I tend to live. And this was, you'll remember this at the very beginning of Unapologetic, because this wasn't even about family, right? You know, I wish a camera had been in the room of me and you just talking about Unapologetic 2015. But like, you know, some of the foundational principles was the idea that like, to be quite honest, fuck support.
Yeah. Real talk.
Like, fuck people showing up for any other reason than they are excited about what you created. Right? The way I look at it all the time is like, I don't want nobody to have an I Make Mad Beats t-shirt to support me, and then they
Yeah.
cut the grass in it. I want them to buy that shirt when they going out on Friday, because it's like, I Make Mad
well,
Beats.
I'm
like,
fresh,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
period.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
for
that's,
sure.
you feel me? Like,
I feel you.
and so I feel like, you know, anything other than creating a product or an experience that you have to be at, you're setting yourself up to not win in the long run. Like, you might get 100 people out to support you, but good luck getting those 100 people out to support you 3 shows from now.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
right? If they're not excited about your every move, if you have not created a product or experience that makes people feel like I can't miss the next thing, then as a entrepreneur or as someone who creates
got
a
more work
product,
to do.
you're failing.
Yeah.
You have more work to
You
do.
got more
Absolutely.
work to do for sure.
That's right.
I feel that. I feel that 100%.
Yeah, I certainly feel like, you know, as we're sitting there talking about this, I'm just thinking about just like some of the, like, we just be doing stuff on a subconscious level that we really don't be thinking about. Like, because I feel like I don't have a lot of people like that I interact with that at this point, or even but like for years, that it's like telling me, nah, but you need to get have a backup plan, or it just that kind of rhetoric. I just feel like that hasn't been my experience, but
All my life.
I feel like, just thinking about it, the people that I could think of, like, might say something like that, like they don't even know what I'm doing, really. And I don't necessarily view that as a good thing, because like it's me, like it goes into not posting on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? It goes into not, you know what I'm saying, turning on the camera to see, right, which is in the long run detrimental. But I know it's because, like, I definitely have like a assumed idea of what they might think of me based off of who they knew me as growing up or whatever, just whatever. And if I'm being honest, I don't really want to deal with that, like, in real life. You know what I mean? I don't, like, there's a hesitance to deal with that, like in a real way. And I could just recognize that, like, Because at first I'm like, yeah, I don't deal with those people. But I mean, I feel like they might be there, but I've shielded myself from having
you
to
already
deal
know
with
what
that.
to expect.
You know
But
what I'm
like-
saying? Like,
What I would ask you though is like,
and to the point where they actually might be excited. You know what I'm saying? But like, I have an idea about what they think of me.
but that's what I was about to say. Like, are you projecting your own insecurities onto
That-
those people?
That's what
Right.
exact. That's what it is. Like, it's like it.
Yeah, because they haven't even met this
Yeah,
version.
they don't know this
Exactly.
version. Yeah.
I'm saying that because from
feel
experience. Like I went through that. Like I was like, you know, to be quite honest, like there's this one auntie of mine who, you know, I remember was kind of critical and kind of belittling about the things that I did. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do, but that was when I was like 16. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes it's weird how we'll acknowledge that we've grown and changed, but won't give other people the space to have grown and changed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's why like every 5 years passes, like I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm James. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give space for like people to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if you love people. People you don't care about, I don't care if I checked you out, I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people I love, it's going to be maybe a couple years, I'm going to be like, hey, let's sit
tap
down.
back in with
I'm gonna be
it.
like,
Yeah,
oh
no,
no,
I
you're
feel
still the
that.
same. All right, I'm going to be back.
Yeah, real. I'm gonna holler at you when you see the vision.
Oh no, you kind of. Oh, okay. Listen, now we gonna have tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. You know, and I went through that. It was one of my aunts. She's like, James, why don't you ever post some of the things you're doing or the accomplishments that you're having in the family group on Basecamp? I mean, on Facebook. If we was in Basecamp, that'd be wild. But if but you know, on Facebook, and I told her, I was just like, to be quite honest, like, I don't think y'all care.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I stopped caring about y'all.
Yeah. and I told her, I was like, it's not only that I don't think y'all don't, that I think that y'all don't care, but if I go in there to post something expecting y'all to care and y'all don't, I'm gonna be hurt by that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, y'all not just regular people. Y'all the family. I love y'all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
it hurt
Like,
me.
if y'all don't, you know, and that's the thing about the group junts on Facebook too. You can see viewed by 20 people. Nobody hit like, ah, dead.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You know,
and that shit
that's
happen
all
all
about
the
them.
time,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That shit happen all the time. I hate that people don't catch on until it's crazy because you know that thing everybody be like, you know, don't nobody catch on. Well, when everybody fuck with me, then y'all gonna catch on and shit like that. Like, it be real. Like, people say what they want to. Like, I start focusing more on strangers. And it's because they don't know.
Literally.
They don't know me.
Literally.
Like, they don't know me, don't know who I am.
Now we passing the collection plate back.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Because one way or the other, like, I stopped caring about that dude. That shit hurt my feelings. Like he said, that shit hurt my feelings. And I stopped. At one point, I just stopped. I just stopped sharing all the time and stopped giving because then, like, now people see me. Now my cousins and shit be inboxing me. Strangely, and like I be feeling like I ain't even, you know, you see me a little bit, but I ain't even where I'm trying to be. And then now it's like, oh, you know, I see you or whatever. And whole time is like, nigga, I've been trying to show you or trying to see. And then some of them hit me up like, you know, we need to go and do that song together. And it's like, bro,
No, bro.
you all right?
No.
Because
Like,
I
for
remember,
real,
I remember, because I remember asking you.
That must be sick.
So yeah, so now I don't focus on that because like he said, I'm hurting myself at some point, and I had to tell like certain people in my family because they do me the same way now. You get what I'm saying? But it's plenty times I was posting and y'all weren't seeing me or didn't see value in what I was doing. So now it's like, shit, I gotta wait on y'all to catch up like the people I don't know. Whatever, because it's strangers right now that's, man, where you get that jacket? I need one of them. I saw you on here. They sharing, they coming through, or, you know, them the people that's gonna support. I focus on them. That's who I focus on. You get what I'm saying? It's just, cause them the folks is that's the word of mouth in the.
I'm gonna say this because like right now I feel proud in a certain way to know.
I was one of these strangers. You know what I'm saying? I had never seen or heard of her before in my life. And I went to a show and I was immediately like, all right, what's the IG? I need to know all of this. You know what I'm saying? So just then when you were talking about people, I was like, just talk about me, man.
It is though, because you don't know who be in them rooms. And I think I don't know, I think when I stopped, you know what I'm saying, being hurt by certain things, because I stopped giving to those situations to be hurt by them, you know what I'm saying? I think when I stopped doing it and started just focusing on my craft and what I want to accomplish, like people, support came from all kind of places. Support came from and some places I didn't expect it. Sometimes some family did come back around and, you know, grew to it and started to understand, like he said, because they started to see your love for it. Like my grandma, like, you still doing this? Okay, what you doing? You know, and then you start to show her and then she like, okay. Or I like the trade. My grandma don't smoke weed. Well, guess what? She bought a tray for me. I just put a patch on one of her jean jackets the other day. You get what I'm saying? She threw me a little 20 for it. It's just, cause now it's different because like now I showed y'all like I ain't stopping this because you know I know something's gonna come from it. You get what I'm saying? And either you gonna be a part of what pushes me one way or the other because the bullshit pushed me too. So keep it up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel ya.
That's fact.
That's a love offering, John.
Hold on. Yeah, that's the everybody come on down to the altar, John. Hey, okay, we way over time. This was a good episode. Shout out to Lucky being here. I just want to end on that note, right? Like, I felt like it was a cheat code when I realized, right, that people loving you, people being a fan, people, you know, giving you positive energy, that is gasoline in your car. But the cheat code was realizing people doing the opposite is also gasoline in your car.
It's that premium.
And sometimes the difference between you getting where you're supposed to go and not getting there is if you recognize there's two kinds of gasoline for your car. If you're only depending on one of them, I hope you have enough gas to get there.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't figure out how to turn negativity coming your way, if you can't convert that into another form of fuel, man, good luck.
That's right.
You know, I love that. That is real as hell. I love that. All right, man. It's been we got quotes. You got a quote in the chat. You're gonna be a part of pushing me one way or another, cause the bullshit pushed me too. That's a quote. You know what I'm saying? We got to get you a one way or another hoodie. We got to get you. You know what I'm saying? We got those on deck. You know what I'm saying? You can get those on unapologeticstore.com. We not playing. Man, this has been an exciting episode. Man, y'all be getting some rants out of me. I be trying to be cool and let y'all do it. And
The mad
y'all be falling back.
rants.
The mad rants. But then I know I'm on a rant when I'm like no longer looking this way at all. I'm like, and I told that dude I wasn't going. You know that's what I told him.
This ain't nothing but the back of your head.
You know and I'd be like,
Yo, that's hilarious.
Anyway, this has been another episode of Tight Beat, an unapologetic podcast at Outer Space, an unapologetic studio. I am your host. I make mad beats, and behind me is the cast.
LJ1S.
Unique.
It's Kid Maestro.
Sheena.
Your girl, Life's Lucky.
Life's Lucky in the building. On that note, have a good one. Have a great night, great morning. Stay safe and also stay dangerous.
Always.
Better.
Peace.
Let's get it.
Bitch, are you jealous?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Bitch, are you jealous?
Oh shit, here we go again.